So in this video I want to talk more about tattoos, and this video is to show one of my oldest tattoos. No, this is not my oldest, but this is one of the oldest I have a new picture of, and a picture from when it was done in the studio, when it was new, and comparison now is here. So you see here is that 2019 is this one, and when this one I'm zooming in right here, and the picture taken this today in 2021 is this zooming right on here. So and the obviously is inspired from Kalinget style, and Kalinget is a people living in north coast of Canada, British Columbia, and they is symbolizing a moon. Because I also have a sun, so the is a moon. But the difference is here is with the picture is that this tattoo have a bear nose and wolf's teeth. So you can, yeah, so that is just is a moon. The difference is here you can see in the picture is that when the tattoo was new, like 2 years, 3 years ago, was much brighter, and you can see this year 2020 the red is much darker and this kind of thing. So yeah, so what I mean with this is that some colors, as I maybe this a video before this one was that some color gonna be too bright and it's very hard to see the color anymore, but some color will get darker from time. There's not gonna be much darker. And so red is a color that is very, I don't really know how to say it in a way. Red is very, red and black, like black, red and green are very, very thick colors in some sense in the ink. They are colors that take very, very long time for these colors, comparable to lighter colors, to be less visible on the skin. So I don't know exactly why that is the case, but your red is just a color that most of the time works on every skin tone. Maybe not on the darkest skin tone, but most of the skin. So red and green and black is often very safe colors to use on darker skin tones. And this kind of thing. I don't know exactly why, as I said before. Yeah, so that is what I mean, is that so this is the picture I show here, is that, as I said before, is to see how to see in comparison. So you can see here is the new, here is 3 years later, this one, 3 years later, new, old, and this kind of thing. And I also have a tattoo with a Haida sun with black and red. But the problem with this one is I don't have the picture. I don't have a picture of that tattoo when it was new. So I cannot do a video to do a comparison to show. For this tattoo, the oldest tattoo I have, the oldest, like with colors, with 2 different colors, is 11 years ago. It's 11 years ago. I know that because my tattoo, that tattoo with the sun, was in a Nordic tattoo magazine that you can still buy, but it's in Swedish, it's not in English, but it was 11 years ago. So I don't have that magazine longer. It was done in that magazine was released in December 11 years ago, and yeah, I still remember that. And that is in that magazine is the picture of the sun tattoo, and that sun tattoo is mine tattoo. So we take my friend and I take a picture of that tattoo and send it in. But at all time, before you put tattoos on like Facebook or Reddit or other places, you put tattoos in magazines, and you can, if you are lucky, your tattoo will be in the magazine. And that was the time in Europe, I think, when Haida tattoos was very popular, I didn't obviously I don't know that because when I do my first highlighter with the sun, then I do a killer whale like maybe 1 year from each other. Was that I just like the style. I really like the highlighter style, like and so on. So because of the beginning of when I get tattoos, I was not as in maybe that's maybe silly word to say, but I was not as enlightened at that time as I'm right now. If in comparison, for right now, obviously nowadays I'm much more into how the design will look to the tattoo. You know, you have to understand it's like it's much more like nowadays I not do the tattoo because I'm not a tattoo artist, but I almost like the person that give every detail to my tattoo artist and how I want that artist to make my art. And my idea to make to art, what I mean, is that it's very important for me nowadays that my tattoos is not a copies of something else. That is as much original as possible. That is what I'm looking for right now when I get tattoos. It's like I always have to like if I see something I want to change that so that it's not going to look too similar to the picture. For example, I have one tattoo um, that is okay in comparison. There's one tattoo I have, so that is a wasp. And the thing we have done to make it different is we take different part from different objects and put it into the wasp to make the. I always call this tattoo a deer wasp because the wasp have 3 eyes, 2 deer horns, antlers, to make it very different in comparison how the original, and the wasp is based on a giant Japanese hornet. But so you can see in the shape of the tattoo is inspiration from a picture from a nature picture from a giant hornet. But the difference is here is that they have deer horns and 3 eyes, to make it original. So that is what I mean. So I always try to make something original, to make it different from the original picture of the object when I get tattoos. So for example, that is just, so what I mean is that when I see a picture I don't mean at other tattoo picture when I do originally, but I always take inspiration from nature picture. Like if you want to do this moon, for example, with inspiration was the Haida moon, where we change different things. We take the bear nose, we take a wolf's teeth, and make it that will look different from the original piece, as much as possible to make differences. And that is what I mean is that always is and yeah. So this is the all, not the oldest. I have one more other one that is black and gray. That is okay. Healed one. So here, simple. You can see here that the color is a bit. It's the same color, but one is brighter, the other one is darker on the skin, and so on. Yeah. I think I have to say I'm happy with all of my tattoos because it's done in my personal opinion. I think they're done very well done. Okay, we have to. Okay, so we can zoom in here on the old one. You can see the red is much like shrewsbury red. It's much darker, and we go to the when it looks like you can see. You can see if we go like this. You can see the differences here with around the eye. You can see that it's much darker comparable to this one, much lighter. And obviously also how the picture is taken. Obviously if the picture is taken and it's very light outside, obviously the picture of the tattoo will be lighter. So that can also play a big factor to the whole thing. But you can, yeah, so you see, sorry, here is the right picture. So you see, here is exactly the same size. And I have to say I like much more how the tattoo looks today in comparison how it looks when it was new, because I like the dark, more like darkish, purplish kind of a red in comparison. And yeah, I'm very happy with this tattoo. I'm happy with all my tattoos with different reason. They are made in different. Some of them have in similar, made in different styles, and some are is complemented with other styles. For example, one of the tattoo I already with my Ichthyosaurus is inspiration of Haida style. But it does not belong to the Haida culture because the Ichthyosaurus is a prehistoric water reptile. But it's a mixture of Haida and a mixture of new school style together, and this kind of thing. So yeah, so that is just this very quick comparison. It's just that the same color but different nuance to the color, and this is 3 years. And yeah, so I can do another video when I show my black and gray tattoo in if I have in comparison to show what I mean with differences. So I have some tattoos that is 3 years old. This is the oldest tattoo I have, that in comparison you can see side by side how different it is, how it looks, with how the tattoo looks this. Also, this is just 2 pictures, but this is to show like first is the picture to show how the tattoo looked when it was taken in the studio, and this is the tattoo how it looks 3 years later. Always you can have a middle picture to show how the tattoo looks when it have scabs. I can try to find that. Wait, I'm gonna take this and we go to pictures and we go up a bit. Okay. So here is the one. So you can see, if I zoom in, you can see the hair up here is that when you start to scab. So you see that this is the process when the tattoo start to heal. Like the scabs start to fall off, and you can the final stage is start to begin for the tattoo. So obviously this is, so if the first picture I show when I say new is this the first stage, and this stage is the second stage, and the third stage is when the tattoo is healed. That first stage is when you can go to the sauna, you can go out and swim in the water, everything have healed on the skin, everything is done. You don't need any plastic around your arm anymore. You don't need to be careful with. Also, you always should be take care of your tattoos with creams and other things to make it clean and so on. But this is the process when everything starts to heal, and it's like the procession of healing in this process. So this is part 3 of the tattoo. Okay, let's see if I can show. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So here you can see clearer. You can see use the forget to say about, so you can see, maybe you can, but you see here is that originally this tattoo have white ink in the eye, because that was the time before I know that white ink is not a good color to use on darker and brown skin tone, because that yellow will just vanish. The same as the purple, they just vanish. It's not even a point. Yet you maybe are lucky to have white ink on your skin maybe 1 week, but often just plops away, just vanish if it is too big. It's not stay on the skin. So yeah. So what the red and black is stay very long, and I know that because as I said before, my two first tattoo with 2 colors, red and black, was 11 years. So have a color of red in 11 years, and it's a still, but it's much more. The red is obviously much brighter today in comparison. But you also have to understand when you talk about different ink colors, it's also understand when they are made. Obviously, like ink 60 years ago is different from ink from ink today, when people have today. So maybe 11 years from now we can have like micro tattoos that will hold up for the rest of the life in the same position as they was when they were new and the picture was taken new in the studio. But it's not the color, it's also how the color is made for the ink. That is why the red obviously is sometimes stronger than maybe for example magenta, for example, or yellow. But it's not that, it's just how they are made. So it's very different precision how the color is made from in this time, like 12 years ago from now, and all this kind of thing. So obviously it's like is how, for example, now Ink Eternal is also how old is that brand in comparison with other brands, and then you have to look. After that, you have to look at. Then you have to look at why. Then you have to look at Then you have to look at other brands that sample is vegan or unvegan in comparison, to see about the red in comparison with other brands, and then you have green and other brands. But green maybe gonna look the same in when you look at the ink bottle with the color in the ink, but you maybe will have a different experience with that color when that color healed on the skin 11 years later in comparison with that green from the other company 11 years later. So there is lots of factors that is put into a tattoo that makes it stand out in the long term in comparison. Like you maybe have they in some ways, so always like that is probably the most complicated thing, is to really know how long will that color stay on your skin. If then you have to compare where how big the tattoo is, where on the body is the tattoo placed, how much sunlight will that tattoo get, how is it on the place on the body when it is lots of movements, like like if on your leg, is it place on the body that is lot. If you work, you'll have the tattoos just going to be put into position of working, and this kind of thing. And yeah, so I always think, and also because it stays so long on the skin, obviously the breathing room with the tattoos, lots of the part of the tattoo have no color. It's just my skin and some black around it, and the background is more red. So I've given very much a pop-up situation. You can see the round with this one. So I have to say, I'm very happy with this tattoo. Probably one of my most favorite tattoo of all my tattoos. I think this is probably one of my absolute favorite. I like all of them. I think the moon, the Ichthyosaurus, the leopard seal, my tiger tattoo, and my wasp is my favorite tattoos, and my other. I like all of them, but they are some of them. Yeah, and obviously my kill whale and my Haida sun is one of my favorite tattoo, and then obviously so. I'm happy with all my tattoos. That is the reason why I have not changed anything with my tattoos from 11 years ago to right now. All the tattoo I have is still the tattoo I will have for the rest of my life. I'm a person that I'm not like the old school person that don't change my tattoos. I don't gonna do a tattoo and 11 years or maybe 11 years, 12 years later, I'm not gonna take a laser and take them off, because tattoos. For me, it's like, if you do a tattoo, you should do a tattoo that you really like. So you're happy with that tattoo for the rest of your life. that is so I work when I get tattoos. It's like it's very important for me that I like my tattoos. If I don't feel it for it, I will change it or do something else. I don't gonna take the best thing and then try to be happy when I'm not happy. And this is just the reason why I bring up that point is also for a good example. And it would take a very long discussion with my tattoo artist to change the nose of the tattoo. So originally the nose was a very different shape from this today, and it was a discussion, and then he changed it. Then we're happy. So it's so important. If you're not happy with the skis you see on the picture, change it so you are happy with the art tattoo. Because this is what I mean. It's not mattering what the tattoo artist think looks good. It's matter what you think looks good, and that is the whole thing that matters. Obviously, the tattoo artist can say no to you, and then you go to the other one. But that is just the point that matters. It's like if, and that I'm always like so important for me is that when you do a tattoo that you like, the colors you like. I don't care if the I don't care if the tattoo artist think that color looks like a total flop or something else. It's just your arm, your leg, your body, your money. It's you and shows what tattoo you want. Obviously, if the color does not work, that is the case. Yeah. So that is just what I mean. So I'm very happy that all the tattoos I get is my tattoos, and it's my idea. For some of them, not all of them. Obviously, I have to be honest. Like the killer whale and the sun is not original idea, because they come from the Haida culture, and you have to understand was before I know about this kind of thing. So the first I think if you it was a book I find with the Haida killer whale, and I like that so much. I take this as a tattoo, and the Haida sun was just I want the Haida sun, and this kind of thing. But nowadays when I see something, I will make it that is totally mine. I will change lots of things. Obviously, the only thing I can say today I have inspired from this is the Haida moon. The difference is with the nose, the teeth is the biggest difference from the original piece. I have to be honest. But the other tattoos like the wasp with the horns, the leopard seal with my Haida leopard seal, my Ichthyosaurus, my Shahnameh tattoo, all of them are original pieces, and this kind of thing. And the tiger too is lots of pieces. So nowadays when I get tattoos I try to make them as original, as different as possible from the original picture if I see that online, because I think that is just so this is just this one, and I can show you that other part of the video. I can show how my tattoo with that is black and gray and red is in comparison with how it looks today and how it looks 3 years later, and this kind of thing. Okay, so this is everything I really want to say. Okay. Okay, so here is just my picture of my Ichthyosaurus, and this is just 1 year. But you can see here that this is what I mean with the part 3 of the stage of the healing process is you see the scab start to fall off, and you can see up here you can see that the color is much darker, and on the down lower side of the tattoo is the color much brighter. So this is turquoise, blue, magenta. So when the tattoo, before the tattoo was healed, it looks like purple. But when the tattoo, before the tattoo was healed, when the tattoo was healed, the color looked much more like a strawberryish color. I can see. Okay, so here is the sun. If we go like this, so this is just the color how it looks in the other state. Obviously, this color is much darker now. It's not as bright as it was. So this is you have almost like so this, if we go like this is like stage 3.